Hello, this is Jenny Thompson from Healing the Wounded Heart. I am certainly no expert on prayer. To be honest, this is always something that I have found difficult, and I am sure that many of us can relate to this as well. In fact, to be really honest with you, I often feel that despite knowing the Lord for so many years, that there are actually only a handful of times that I can truly say with great excitement, I had an answer to prayer. Now, I am sure that must have come as a bit of a shock to some of you, and I am sorry about that. So what is my problem then? Is it because I don't pray enough, or I don't pray in faith, or I just don't recognise that actually I have had numerous answers to prayer over the years? Or maybe I am just extremely ungrateful. May I make another confession? I don't want to shock you too much, but there is a part of me that often thinks, well, what is going to happen will happen anyway, regardless of whether I pray or not. Am I really the only one who feels like this? We know that Jesus prayed continually when he walked the earth. Yet this has always perplexed me. Why did he do this? A couple of immediate answers to this could be, firstly, to set an example for us. As Jesus prayed, how much more do we need to? Secondly, to keep in touch with his Father, so he would know his Father's will at any given time. Yes, but he is part of the Godhead. Doesn't he know his Father's will anyway? Well, presumably not, because he emptied himself of his deity, didn't he? Whatever we think of prayer, it remains a complete mystery to us, and I find this really annoying. We want to try and understand just how God works, but we never will we? Prayer is actually about relationship rather than imploring him to do something on our behalf or on behalf of others. I sense that the more we get to know him, the more we will understand his will and so pray more effectively as a result. Yes, we cry, but why is it that he performs an absolute miracle for one person, but not for another person, even though they pray fervently and fasted, but still no miracle came? We will never know the answer to such questions, and so we just have to trust God. I am sure many of us can relate being in a situation when our hearts felt burdened down with a particular problem. So we prayed and then our hearts lifted again. This was either because we received his peace or because a solution to our prayer suddenly presented itself. I have been classed as highly vulnerable by the NHS. Therefore, I need to self-isolate. Yes, well, okay, but what about my husband who really needs to work, but cannot work from home? On the Monday, we were informed that he wouldn't get any income if he did not work. I prayed hard about this, as you can imagine. After all, I don't have an income of my own. But by the next day, I concluded that we were going to trust God, and so he should return to work. So he telephoned his boss to tell him he was coming back, only to be told suddenly that now he could either actually receive sick pay or come back in on a rota system as the volume of work had dried up. To me, this was an answer to prayer. It's encouraging to know that the Lord is not only still with us in these very difficult and trying circumstances, but he is still actually answering prayer. Most of the time we don't know how to pray, do we? But Romans 8 verse 26 reminds us, in the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. God bless you.